Hi everyone, and welcome to the Good Woo. So I've had a lot of questions about the services menu and what I offer one-on-one. So today I'm going to be explaining a little bit of what the services menu refers to. So first of all, with each new client, I recommend a sacred sitting, which is a 2-hour reading, and it is on a sliding scale. This 2-hour reading breaks down into two parts. The first part is where I look at your astrological chart. This is what I like to call your cosmic blueprint. And that's what it is. It's just a blueprint. But it gives vital information as to what are our strengths and our weaknesses and how we can take practical steps to overcome weaknesses and to strengthen our strengths to a level of propelling ourselves to our highest vibrational path, purpose, and really living our true nature. It's very practical, even though it's very woo-woo at core, because my whole concept working with astrology and cosmic weather is to be able to harness these larger ideas into a practical application, meaning something that you can use day to day, something that can be quite tangible and physical. When we end that part of the session, it becomes very clear, both with feedback from the client and what we've discovered, it becomes clear as to what direction the client really truly wants to be going in their life and what they want to change. At that point, I do an intuitive reading for the client. And this is quite intimate as we get into in depth about where childhood and past relationships and past experiences need to be cleansed and released for the client to truly be able to acknowledge what they want and feel like they deserve it. And this part of the reading is really tailored to the client. So sometimes I'm using, different oracle decks or runes. Other times it's just me speaking directly to what the client needs. A lot of times what we find is there are parts of our energy that are trapped in past situations, and by the end of this part of the session, we have unlocked a few of those places, but we also have a guidepost as to what the client needs to work on in their own life and what we will work on in the next session. So the 2-hour sacred sitting is the bedrock for all future work with me. And when you leave that session, it is a relief for many people. The feedback has been incredible, and if you are interested in testimonials, you can look on the website. These sacred sittings also require a little bit of homework. The night before the session, I ask you to do 2 simple rituals that align you with your highest self, so that when we start the session, it's very clear the information that will come through is totally aligned with what it is that you're seeking. So then after I recommend this, clients come back and we do our sessions. Some people like to do it every week, some people 4 to 6 weeks, some people I hear from, twice a year. It really depends on where you're at in your journey and how much assistance you want. So in the services tab, you will also see that I offer a totem reading, which is specifically just working with animal guides. And that reading is an hour long, and it encompasses a reading with the animal totem cards, and also a guided meditation tailored to the client. That's what the last 30 minutes is of that 1-hour session. So it's a 30-minute totem reading with a 30-minute guided meditation specifically for the client. I also offer, if people are just wanting to work with astrology, a 1-hour session that encompasses what your current cosmic weather is, meaning how your natal chart is activated by the current cosmic weather. And that is an hour session. But I highly recommend that a client start with a sacred sitting before we would go into what the current cosmic weather update will be. That can be like a follow-up session. Now for clients, I also offer a 30-minute mini session. And I had offered 13 of those for free on my birthday. That offer is still open. I have a few left. So if you're interested, look on that post that was posted on May 16th for the free 30-minute session. Now, that's an interesting thing because I will be offering, these sessions of 30 minutes without the client having already done the sacred sitting. But it's an experiment I'm working with because I've definitely had people say, well, if I can't commit to that time, if I can't commit financially, can you do something shorter? So I'm trying to work out, can I, and what will the feedback be? Because a lot of people really appreciate that 2-hour support system. It's a safety net of time security as well because we really get deep. So the next service that I offer, and this is also recommended after you do the sacred sitting, is an EFT specific session for you. So it's using the EFT tapping system tailored to you and your situation. So I walk people through how to tap out problems that they're having, old belief systems, emotions that are difficult, and then tap in what they do want. And generally, that's really a one-time session because once you understand the EFT technique, it's yours and you can do it on your own. So it's really just that initial teaching for you to have it, for you to take sovereignty of that process yourself. That also includes energy clearing, that I use the technique of the modality of the emotion code and 2 other modalities that I also teach the client as far as clearing their own energy. So each session begins with an energy technique to clear your magnetic field, and that is then yours, right? So I teach you the technique and then you use it. And then the session also ends with an energy clearing technique. And all sessions are recorded, and I always recommend that the clients listen to the sessions at least 24 hours after, because each time you listen to the session, you will hear something new, something that you weren't able to absorb. And I've heard from clients that this continues on and on, that they can listen to something, 2 years ago and find something new from the session while they're listening. So this is just the basics. And, as I'm working with clients, what I'm finding is the more they commit to their inner work, the more results that they get. And part of that commitment is trusting someone and is, financially saying, this is what I can do. I exchange this with you. Or if they can't do something financially, they offer a trade. It's an exchange of energy. And my job is just to facilitate the process, right? So when we're working, it's really about you becoming your own healer, your own leader, your own teacher. And I facilitate that process in a safe, energetic space. Some people like to work with different guides, and that comes through, and that is an option as we work. But a lot of people just prefer it to be a neutral space, an energetically free and clear space of old dogma or past, religious dogma, anything like that. But if there is a client who is specifically working with a certain religion or a certain guide or a certain, a deity, that is incorporated into it, of course. So it becomes a relationship where I sort of become the container, the safe space for the client to process questions, problems, belief systems, experiences that they get stuck on. And what results is an energetic, physical, mental, and emotional flow state where then the client has the power in their daily life to activate and access what they truly need to be their best and highest self. So that's what I do one-on-one. So you can go to the services tab and look at the services menu, but hopefully this will give you a better, a deeper, a fuller explanation of what the work is like. If you've joined me on the live feed meditations on Instagram, then you're familiar with the idea of the guided meditation. So what I'm also offering is a 1-hour curated guided meditation for the client that will be recorded from them that they can then listen to, whenever they need to. So it's a guided meditation into the heart center space, aligning with the different aspects of self for greater healing, for personal empowerment, and, to attain that state of true peace and true well-being that is consistent, that lasts, right? So, if you're interested, email me at info@thegoodwoo.org, or you can book through the website, which is thegoodwoo.org. And if you have any questions, you can DM me on Instagram. You can leave the question on YouTube here. You can email me any questions, because this is what I'm here for. Thank you so much for viewing, and I hope this was helpful. If you know of someone who would be interested in this kind of work and has eyes to see and ears to hear this kind of message, please send this on, because that's what this is all about. Sharing our experiences and sharing what we learned to help each other up the ladder of consciousness and of spiritual awakening. Thanks so much, you guys.